Alright, so here's my dog. Here's her sweater. Here's her coat with the hood snapped so she can see. Here's her little harness on over the sweater. Is it over the sweater? Or is it under? Oh, my bad. Okay, so the harness is under the sweater. And then she's got her sweater on. And then she's got this jacket on. She's kicking me like, stop touching me, Mom. And then you see the wind blowing her hair. She'll see us too. Okay, see the wind? That's the heater. Oh, wait a minute. That's the heater. With the fucking fuel tank. Right next to it. And then there's my hose. That's dripping down. And a slow drip. And then I have this in there so the blanket don't hit the fan heaters. And then down in here, there's more fuel. That air gap. What the fuck? It likes to climb, so now it's just at a steady drip. But then there's all that fuel. Angle it right. Should have Alright, there we go. And it's connected to that, which goes into the diesel heater. Look at all that fuel, and you see it moving, going in. So you know it's going into the heater at a pretty good steady pace. You know, it's getting in there. And then, oops, my sweater got stuck on the thing. And then there's this air gap, but it's dripping up there. Just enough to keep it going. And then that is to prevent the fumes from coming through the hole in the lid. It's a little hole. Just enough to get that. What is that thing? That is a curtain rod that Brian took apart to fit that hose through it so it would go to the bottom of this 5-gallon tank versus curling and floating up at the top and not getting any fuel. So that was his fucking kick-ass idea, and it worked. You see, it's moving steadily at a slow drip. But down in there, there's enough fuel to get into the tank, so it's all good. And then that thing periodically just gets dusted. Yeah, now it's kind of clean. But yeah. And this keeps Fidget from going in there and fucking around with anything. And then I have that thing facing the bed. I have the tube on it. I can take that on and off. You know, it's very easy to put on and off. But yeah. And then on the floor is that hole with that shield cover, fireproof sleeve. There you go. I knew I'd come up with it. In there. I'm trying to get a good view because it's blurry. There we go. And some of the guts steel wool fell through that. So a lot of the cold air is just coming through that. Isn't that great? But I don't have the money to get any more, so I'm kind of stuck with just whatever's left. But yeah, that's pretty much it there. And then I usually just take this part and Velcro it to the table that's up against the wall there. But this wire came with the heater. He fixed it, and he's got it plugged into my power strip. But yeah. So that's what that Chinese little fucking diesel heater looks like. And then this is that 5-gallon tank that he was bitching about today. But I got it nice and full. Not up to the line, but I did get it. It was like maybe up to here when I brought it in. But yeah, that'll last me a few days till payday, and then I can fill it up again. But yeah, my home is kind of a mess at the moment. But those are clean dishes down there. That's clean. Up there is clean. I just haven't put them away yet. The one in the sink with the white one with the mug sticking out, that's got some dirty dishes in it, but they have all been rinsed. All I gotta do is wash them. And then that's my backpack. I haven't used that in months. With my hoodie, I got a little hanger thing on rope because it doesn't, the door's too thin, so it doesn't go on that. And then this is the buddy heater that Brian used. He had it on top of the stove. And then I just got everything else in here. My movies. I plasticed my windows. I put a towel around that one because the air's still coming through that one. But that's not with the special plastic either. That's just what I had before I got the plastic, so I gotta fix it. That light doesn't work anymore, so, but it's just still hanging there. And let me see if I can stand up. Hold on. This is so hard to do when you're in pain. Alright. And then that's a thing of water that is mostly, I think that's whatever was left in it is frozen. So, okay, whatever. And then I have some clothes here that I folded from laundry day. I just haven't put away yet. And then I have my bathroom bag that I bring into Brian's when I take my shower. That's my clean clothes stacked up in a pile over there. My purse that I bring with me when I leave for work. Fidget's toys, some paperwork, my smoke shop, some more paperwork, my makeup thing, some more movies. And then up here is some miscellaneous shit that can go back into storage. This is the yarn project I'm working for Brian. That is a strainer I use that actually fits in my sink. And some more clothes that's another, a different employee had given me, a co-worker had given me some clothes, older lady, but the clothes is nice. And then I have my sewing stuff, my wig that I wear periodically, a bag of personal shit, some yarn back there. Stuck my jewelry up on there. And then that bitch caught on fire a few times, so I don't use it at all. That's why I got the diesel heater. And then this is the bag that I put that hose in when I leave to refill. My broom, ladder, my toilet, medicine, shelves, my fucking Blue Eddy, which when you turn the power on to look at the screen, it's at 100. The heater is using 36, 35, 33. Yeah, that's it. And my handheld charger is plugged in, and my heater is on. That's it. Everything else is shut off. I'm not using any other power. But yeah, that's my Blue Eddy. That thing, that's the plug to my camper. So my camper plug is plugged into the Blue Eddy. The Blue Eddy is plugged to this cord that goes all the way down there through a hole that Brian drilled behind all that crap that goes outside to his extension cord. So my camper is actually that Blue Eddy's being charged by his power in the house. This plug goes around here and through a hole that he drilled in there. And I got my refrigerator, which I can't show you right now because there's some dishes on top of that. But that's a car refrigerator. It was like a $85, I think it was. So I'll have to show you the refrigerator on another day. Then I got my soap. I water it down. And then I got some dirty dishes. It ain't gonna take much to wash them. No big deal. I just boil water. Those are clean. That's a bag I put all my coffee grounds and my wet trash in so it doesn't smell on the outside to attract the bears and stuff, because he does get that out here. This is my blue igloo that I fill with water. It usually goes underneath the stove, but lifting it is pretty painful for me lately, so I left it on the counter. This white one's also my water. There's my percolator ground coffee thing that I pulled out to make coffee the other day. That thing goes on the 5-gallon thing, but I don't use it for anything, so it just goes on when I need it, and then it just goes back there. That's all my bags I use to bag my food and garbage, mostly garbage, since I don't really have any food to bag. And then this is my stove. And it works. My oven does not work, so I use it for food storage. That doesn't need to be in the fridge, but needs to be cold. And then the same thing with under here, there's a cabinet. I usually throw my bread and Parmesan cheese and stuff that doesn't need to be in the refrigerator. And then behind here is my dishes. I'll show you those another day when I feel like opening them. Under here is my cleaning supplies, my spray bottles. This I bubble wrapped to prevent air from coming in. My silverware, but they're all not put away yet. I haven't had time to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much my camper. And then this is the thing. It does open, but it's too fucking cold to open. And then I got all these cabinets. That's my tool shed cabinet. That's my other tool shed cabinet. I have storage under the bed too, but I'm not going into that right now. I'm too tired and my body hurts too bad. Here's my fidget. You warmer than mommy. Spoiled rotten dog. Yeah, Brian was just scared. He doesn't understand. And then there's storage under there too that I usually put this blue. What the fuck is that thing? Shit. Buddy heater. That goes underneath that storage. The other tank is under there. Brand new one. My computer bag is underneath all that with the leopard print. My computer bag. I left it in the car, but it was fucking freezing cold in the van, so I pulled it out and put it in the camper where it was warm. But today that didn't happen because I ended up taking it to fill it. Oh, and my car vacuum thing that I use to vacuum in here, that thing is being charged. So there's only 35 watts being used, charging my handheld charger, that little vacuum cleaner, and the fucking heater. That's it. Everything else is off. It's my PlayStation 2. I video game on that one. My Xbox 360, I watch movies mostly. Sometimes I video game on it, but mostly we're watching movies. I usually leave that on repeat so Fidget has something to listen to while I'm at work, but I didn't do that today. My table, that always stays up with all my shit on it. It's my speaker. That's my gloves I use to operate the diesel, so I didn't get it on my hands because that's a bitch to get off. This is the lid that goes on where that little hose is going through on the top, and that usually goes up here in my other shed cabinet. It's got a bunch of stuff in it. Of course. That's just a bitch. There we go. And I don't close it all the way because it's a bitch to pull open. I just literally knocked my ashtray over. That's okay, I'll clean that up. Anyway, this place is really easy to keep clean, and I'm very finicky about keeping the floors clean, keeping everything wiped and cleaned in here. So it's just easy to keep clean. But I don't know if this will load. It's 16 minutes and 20 some seconds long, so it might load. I'll try.